Hello and welcome to Talking Trades, a weekly podcast where we talk about comics so you don't have to. I'm Jeremy, I'm a DC fan.
And I'm John, I'm a Marvel nut.
And I'm Matt. And did you know that in the 1990s, a certain pop king wanted to play Spider-Man in a movie so bad that he tried to buy Marvel Comics?
I have heard that before.
A pop king and wanted to buy... And it's not Justin Timberlake, I assume.
90s.
No.
90s. Who was popular in the 90s and was like a big deal and was a guy?
And like a king. Like a
Barry
pop
Manilow.
music
Barry
king.
Manilow. Nailed it. I'm just kidding. I know who it is. Fabio?
Yes, it was Fabio. No,
Yeah,
it was Michael.
I would watch that movie.
It was Michael Jackson.
No, it's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, of
he
course.
He wanted to be Spider-Man, and he tried to buy Marvel Comics in the 90s.
I mean, to be fair, the 90s Marvel was like not doing so great.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
So it was more plausible
So he had a
than
shot.
you would think of now.
What are you talking about? That Fantastic Four movie was hilarious. It wasn't used as a joke in Arrested Development.
You mean it was so good it was released to the
Yeah.
public?
Yeah.
Yep,
I mean, Fantastic got released to the public. I can only imagine how good this one is.
Well, to be fair, the one in the 90s didn't have Michael B. Jordan in it, so.
it sure didn't.
Yeah, but that's like the best thing about Fantastic.
Oh, exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like, that's the only reason it got released.
Oh, okay.
But you know what's interesting about what's going on right now?
What's that?
We're going to transition. That's right. This Week in Geek.
Oh.
This Week in Geek.
This Week in Geek, gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. First and foremost, I think Justice League's going to suck.
Yeah, I'm in yikes territory with this one.
Do we want to start with Justice League again?
Yeah, I can't.
Give the
it
people what they
can't be
want. You know what I
avoided.
mean?
You're right.
It can't be avoided. So for those who are not aware, the Justice League movie released another still of the Joker, and this time he has a crown of thorns, a white robe, and looks very Christ-like. Because when I think of the Joker, the first person I think of, the analogous to the Joker, is Jesus Christ, apparently.
If,
What are they thinking?
just to remind everyone of the Sonic cycle. So first you start to see news and tidbits and just like, oh, that's awesome. I'm very excited for this. Let's go. Then they start showing pictures of friends, pictures of new friends. And you're like, okay, that's like a lot. Like, why are you doing so much? Then it comes out and everyone hates it.
So here's the thing with me. I was looking forward to this movie
Yeah, you were in stage one.
Boy, that
Yep.
sounds like past tense.
up until that picture.
Then we
Yeah.
got pictures of friends, pictures of new friends.
Like even
I think we have to add a new category.
So like
Pictures
even
of Christ.
the Joker being in the trailer, I was like, fine, he's probably gonna be there, 5 seconds.
He's going to say his society line and get out.
He's clearly looks like they're building up to him being like the Messiah of the wasteland. And I don't
Which that could be done well.
yeah.
This movie in no way has enough time to begin to do this. Even 4 hours is not enough
You're
to,
right.
to also do this and do it well.
Yeah. I am now worried that this movie is not going to be good.
Hey, thanks. I hate it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I like the memes that are coming from it. I like the jokes that people
yeah.
have made.
Could you imagine when this movie comes out and it's not good, how the internet field day that's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, that ruins any director's cut in the future that isn't an initial thing. Like no one's ever going to demand the blank cut ever again if this movie is. I think people are already kind of backpedaling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're getting that air cut of Suicide Squad. I don't think it's going to happen.
Not with this. Well, they might release it because they need to make Joker the Moses of that movie.
I mean, they already released 2 cuts and like one wasn't
They
better
both
than the other.
sucked.
One was just longer than the other.
Oh my god! I've never. I don't know, man. I'm in full on. This is going to be bad mode, which I don't think I've ever said about any of the DCEU movies. I have never come in and been like, it's going to be bad. I've gone in worried, but like I've always come out like, hey, you know what? It was fun. I had a good time. Nope, this one's going to be bad.
Yeah. I hope that's not true, but with each
I would
thing
love to be wrong.
Yeah, with each thing that's released, like if they had just not, I feel like the Joker is kind of what's putting it over. Like, okay, this might not be good if they're trying to shoot.
Hey, could you not?
Yeah,
and with the his line in the trailer of like, we live in a society. I'm like, okay, this is the exact limit of too much. If we cross this line,
we can't go back.
And we cross this line with a crown of thorns.
Yep.
It's your Joker, Zach. We have to go back. It's your Joker.
I don't even know this would have worked in a pre-Joker 2019 universe.
If you put a crown of thorns, the universal symbol for Christ, on the Joker, it's too much. I don't care when it is. You don't do it. It's just not a good idea.
Fans are trying to defend it like Joker never does anything subtle. Like, right.
But here's the thing. Joker's made up. And that means someone had to write it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it's not subtle. But that means someone else had to come up with this idea.
In the DC Comics universe, Joker wouldn't like need people to approve things and say that's a good idea.
You're right. For me, I understand the Joker can get a following. And like in a wasteland setting, sure, right? Everything's chaos. Joker thrives on it. But I feel like they're making him this messiah based off of Jesus just because it's edgy. And not,
that's exactly what it feels like.
Not because it actually works.
If anything, he'd be more like Caligula.
Yeah. Like if they, built up to that and stuff.
He would be more like Caligula.
Sure, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said,
they're doing none of the work for a lot of attempted payoff.
Yeah, I am worried.
Yeah, man, I'm with you.
That will happen.
I mean, if this keeps up, I'm not going to watch it again in black and white. Tell you that.
Moving on.
Let's just
to literally
Justice
anything
is
else.
Gray.
I'd like for John to stop talking. Not forever, but just for
and
now.
it can't be unrung.
We'll just power through the rest of the Snyder Cut stuff that we have.
There's more. Oh God,
there's always more.
It's never going to end until March 18th, and even then, who's to say it's going to end?
Even then, we might get more stuff on
Snyder
Justice
Cut 2.
is Gray. So Zack Snyder apparently has not seen Joss Whedon's Justice League. Nor is he getting paid.
Which I find incredibly hard to believe.
Yeah, right? You'd probably how do you know that the movie that came out isn't your movie? Which, after seeing everything that's expected to come out, we get it.
Clearly wasn't his movie because it wasn't his insane.
Movie. But I don't know. I mean, I would have. If I was a director and I had to leave the set for a terrible reason like he had to, I feel like I would still watch the film. I mean, if it's because, there's some bad feelings and if he couldn't watch it because it brought up all that kind of pain and stuff, I'd get it. But they haven't really gone into that too much. It's also interesting that he's not getting paid to do the Snyder Cut.
Well, I'm wondering if it's one of those things where he's not getting paid initially, but he'll get whatever.
Yeah, he'll get whatever they make.
10% of subscriptions for the month, or 10% of sales, something, because they're going to sell this. They're going to sell it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
so I'm sure he'll get that.
I think I'm a little more cynical with this. I think that he's not getting paid for it, and it mentions in the article that it's given him excellent bargaining power with what to do. So I think he did it. I think not getting paid was the only way he could have complete creative control.
That would make sense.
So I'm a little more cynical with it, but that's what I think is happening.
It all sucks.
And lastly, I'm just going to scroll down to make sure I'm not lying about this being the last bit of Snyder Cut news. Zack Snyder's Justice League will have, quote, an ending with a hero cameo that will blow hardcore fans' minds.
Who's it going to be? Who do y'all think it
Spider-Man.
is?
That would, you know what?
He's going to land on the car with Cap shield and go, "Hey, everybody!"
That would blow people's minds.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it would.
See,
would.
I'm a thinker.
Yep.
You know what, John? You might be right.
Man, I don't know. Like, who is it at this point? Is it? Do you think it's a new character or a character we've seen at this point in the DCEU?
I think it's going to be somebody
I would.
new.
I don't know. New to the DCEU, yeah.
So, like, we know. Do we know Martian Manhunter's in there? I think we know Martian Manhunter's in this.
Nothing's been confirmed.
There's so little. It could be one of the lanterns.
But would that blow your mind?
That's what I'm
Manhunter?
saying.
Like, I don't know what it would have. Like, given all that we have from Marvel, like, what would blow our minds?
So let's do that. Hold on. Before we talk into this, let's talk about this. Like, let's set some ground rules. What would be quote unquote blowing your minds or quote unquote hardcore? So I think we should have two discussions. One, that would just be people who grew up watching the Justice League show and Batman Beyond, that kind of stuff, would be exciting for them, but isn't necessarily a fringe character. And then I think we talk about what kind of fringe character that has never been talked about before would make sense. Because if we're talking about like a not so deep cut, but it would still be really exciting, Martian Manhunter or John Stewart's Green Lantern make a lot of sense. But if we're talking like a deep cut, the only one I can think of off the top of my head, Matt, get ready for this: Booster Gold.
Booster Gold.
I hope that's not
Booster Gold.
You're all wrong.
I am not saying I want it to happen, but could you imagine how, especially with Zack Snyder, he's like, "This is going to be cool. Watch, I'm going to make Booster Gold cool."
No,
you can't.
No, he's meant to be an idiot.
But he could. But Zack Snyder thinks he could do it.
What like a dark, gritty Booster Gold?
That's what I'm saying.
No thanks.
That's what I'm saying.
You're all wrong. It's going to be Kite Man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm into it. I don't think
it's also a hero, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say a hero.
Yeah, I know.
Kite Man is the hero.
Yeah, you're right.
So, because like if it's a character we've seen, like Shazam, like it doesn't make sense, but like what would it be?
I feel it has to be somebody new if it would blow our minds. Shazam showing up would make sense. People would get excited, but I don't think it would blow anybody's minds.
Like okay. Hawkman, like what are we looking at? Like what would blow your mind? I don't even know.
It's not a hero, but we could finally see Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam show up.
It's not.
Yeah,
that would blow my mind. Dr. Fate would blow my mind.
Oh.
Do we think?
But if they're keeping the Justice Society, then no way.
Yeah, I was going to say that takes place decently in the
past.
there's
multiple. There could be multiple Dr. Fates because there's like multiple Green Lanterns. If we saw Alan Scott's Green Lantern, that would blow my mind because he's a Justice Society thing. He's old, but like he's lived through. I mean, they're all comic book characters are old at this point, right? But like, if you saw something like that, if you see someone from the Justice Society to set that movie up, that would blow my mind. Honestly, you're not going to get a character that's going to. I count myself as a pretty hardcore DC fan.
That's what you should.
I don't think you're going to get anybody that's going to blow my mind because, especially with Joker Christ, everything's out the window.
This movie's off the rails. Like what could
exactly
what could happen to where like okay this is totally worth it. I don't know.
If you did an Arrowverse crossover where like you confirm that would blow my mind.
Like
if you
we are totally living with the assumption that it'll automatically be bad because of a few stills we've seen of Joker, and that could be unfair. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm sick of being fair. I'm always fair. I'm so sick of being fair. I'm so sick of giving people benefit of the doubt. I'm so sick of it. I have always been. No, I'm done. For the next month until the 18th of March, I'm done being fair.
Okay, I tried.
You did try.
I tried.
No, you're right, though. You're right. It might be. So the only thing I can think of that would be insane, they've already put Ezra Miller in the Flash TV show. If you did the reverse, that would be insane.
If you get Grant Gustin
or Stephen Amell, like if you confirm that universe exists twice, like we've already confirmed the multiverse, but like not everybody who watches the show watches the movies and vice versa. Do you think that would be insane?
Do you think it's Robin?
No,
that would be crazy. That'd be
crazy.
Insane.
That'd be cool. would it blow your mind?
No.
I think that would be the coolest thing for me, just because I can't think of what else.
That's the thing. We don't know what blow our mind means. Because that would be cool. If Nightwing showed up, Matt, it would blow Matt's mind.
And it's Chris O'Donnell. No, it's not Chris O'Donnell.
If it was Dick Grayson, obviously I would lose my mind. I would be like, I don't care about the rest.
So
of the
here's
movie.
so
This is the
Matt.
best
So
part.
here's how that works, right? It's Brendan Thwaites, and he comes up and he just goes, "F Batman." Everyone goes, "Oh, that's a no word."
I would be okay with that. I still have to watch that show.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. Like, I mean, you guys.
Constantine.
what's mind
like
blowing?
what would blow your mind?
But is that mind blowing?
Not
I don't think
Unless
so.
it's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that would blow my mind as if it was Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be cool.
genuinely blow my mind.
That would be cool if it was him, but I don't think that's that.
I
would-
want to know what Zack Snyder's definition of mind blowing is.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
mean,
Because
we
I
don't
saw
know
Sucker
that.
Punch.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Sucker Punch is on Netflix. Like you can just watch it.
If it's The Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan would blow my mind.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be no, there's no way. I was gonna say, or they bring
What?
in some of the cast members from Watchmen, the TV show, but like that, I think is a bridge way too far.
Yeah, no. I agree.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, it's up till speculation. We will see if our minds get blown on the 18th. But it's good that you brought up.
My mind was kind of blown with Deathstroke, like, you know, like that
Yeah,
was cool.
right?
But I don't know.
He's
I don't
not a
know. What-
hero.
But it is good
Yeah, what were you
that
saying,
you
Matt?
guys. It's good that you actually brought up Constantine, John. Because a Constantine reboot.
Why?
A Constantine reboot. A Constantine reboot is in development at HBO Max with a new actor to play the
Show or
title
movie?
role. Let's find out. I believe it is a film. Oh, it's a series. I lied to you.
Okay, because they had the show on NBC and then ABC
Yeah.
and then CW. Now he's in the Arrowverse now,
hmm
confirmed. So I'm cool with that. That show, honestly, that show on HBO would work so much better because then he can smoke. Granted, smoking's bad, don't smoke, but like that's part of his character.
But it's one of his defining traits.
And NBC said, no, you can't do it. Which I get. I totally understand that.
This will feature a new character a new actor, playing Constantine. Obviously, there's a lot that we don't know, but it's in development, so that's cool that Constantine's
Show or movie?
coming back. Show. It is a Constantine show.
Okay, cool.
And the quote on here said that this is going to focus on a younger version of John Constantine, which could imply that the series will act as a prequel to a Justice League Dark film. The same way Peacemaker and Gotham PD are connected to Suicide Squad and Batman.
Stop. Oh my
respectively.
God. You're being crazy. We're getting a Justice League Dark film. Stop. Oh my God. You're
Uh-huh.
crazy. You know I have a girlfriend. Stop.
It would be cool.
I cannot wait for that.
Yeah.
Will it also suck? Probably.
But like, it's on HBO Max, I'll
Ironically,
watch
the
it.
Justice League Dark should be the most upbeat movie. That should be their Guardians. I mean, Suicide Squad is going to be their Guardians, but like that, the Dark should have a similar tone to the Suicide Squad and to Guardians. It should be fun because like the source material is going to be dark. The source material is going to be hard to watch. It's going to be scary. It's going to be monsters and stuff. So like that would be awesome if it's lighthearted and fun.
Mhm.
That'd be cool. I hope that's the case.
And I would like John Constantine to be my main character because John Constantine he's good. He's a good character. He's fun.
And as far
He's
as your
interesting.
mainstream audience, he's the best bet the people at large have for someone they would know.
Mhm.
Right. Other than Swamp Thing with the show now.
Yeah, but I think just the fact that a Constantine movie happened puts
Right.
it.
But I don't think people know that's the same thing.
Maybe.
I don't think people know it's the same thing. Have you ever watched the Constantine movie?
I got a sneak pass to see it early in Chicago.
Hmm. Ah. Who hates you that
Why
much?
do you ask? I
Whoever
knew
was that
nothing of
mean?
the character at the time. I'm like, this is like really a
It's
lot
not a
of
bad
it
movie.
is. Well, a lot of my fun was like, ooh, I get to see this like 2 weeks early. Like this is neat.
Mhm.
So
Also, the movie is not terrible. It's just not even close. It's not really close to the character,
right,
which is fine.
like Mr. Maxwell Lord from Wonder Woman 1984.
You know, the movie was good,
Could be
but it could be better. What other news we got?
We got some casting news for a
Hey.
Oh, yes.
DC character that will blow your
Let's go.
mind. No.
Oh, my God. Who is
I'm
it? Is
just-
it Kite Man? And why is it John Cena? He's going to play double duty as Peacemaker and Kite Man.
No. I'm probably going to get her name wrong. Sasha Calle? Calle? Calle?
K-C-L-E. Okay.
Has been cast as DCEU's Supergirl and will officially appear in The Flash movie.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is confirmed.
I did not know this. That's great.
I like it because you're bringing in the Arrowverse, Flash, Supergirl, great friendship, great chemistry. It's excellent. So I like that they're also going to transfer that to the films as well. Also, I just want to give a shout out. My mom would be upset if I didn't mention that she came
Young
from
and the
her
Restless.
soaps. Yep, that's the one.
Oh, my God.
So we did it. And thoughts?
She's brunette. So either they're going to have her brunette or they're going to have her dye her hair blonde.
I kind
That's
of hope they
interesting.
keep it brunette.
Or not?
Or not what? I said they either keep it brunette or dye it blonde. What is the or not?
Platinum blonde wig. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Oh, so a totally different blue.
Yo, I'm down for a blue-haired superhero.
I'm looking at where she is from as far as like her. Because she
I thought she was American. I could be mistaken.
she's American, yeah. But like I'm just wondering if I think her mom's Colombian. And if that's the case, she would be the first person of like mixed race or color to play a one of
Kryptonian?
the House of L. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, not the first Kryptonian, but the first of the House of L. Because there was a black General Zod in the Krypton show, I believe.
I can get.
I believe General Zod's like grandfather was
while since I've seen it.
African American. Yeah, it's been over 3 years, but that's kind of cool. I'm
Mhm.
excited. I'm very happy they're going to put Supergirl in the show or in the movie.
Yeah.
I still think that Melissa Benoist is a great Supergirl, and I'm
she's
sad
the-
to see her
she's
not
the
in the
best.
movies. But the show is just, yeah. I have to be okay with the show and the movies being different things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so hard because I love those shows.
Well, that's the problem, though. Is like if you cast her as Supergirl in the DCEU, then like you're saying everyone's here, but these few aren't, and it's just a mess.
Right,
And
right.
it's
No,
just a
absolutely.
mess.
no, absolutely. You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. That's a good way to look at it. It's the multiverse, right? It's the multiverse.
Mhm.
I just really like Grant Gustin as Flash, and I really like Melissa Benoist as Supergirl. So like that's just. But you know what?
I also
still
like Ezra
get them.
Miller.
I
in
still
what
get them.
Little we've seen. I like Ezra Miller as well.
Yeah.
But granted, it's what little we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just because you have different people playing them in different roles doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the other ones don't exist. Doesn't mean the other ones aren't valid still. So like I got to remember that too. It's just because it's a different universe doesn't mean it's not the same. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in the Prime universe that I got to remember it's not. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Right.
Those shows are phenomenal. I'm excited. That's cool. I'm very excited to see the Flash movie eventually,
And lastly,
if it ever happens.
to finally, at least news-wise, we're about to do something fun here in just a second. The other movie that I've said before that we talk about almost on a weekly basis, the third installment of
Ang Lee's Hulk.
It's not Ang Lee's Hulk.
Oh, Civil War 2.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
To be fair, Civil War 2 wasn't mentioned last week, so we have to restart the counter. I know.
Let's go.
I know. I listened to that episode when I edited it. No, it's
Let's mention this one. So we're back to 0 days without a Civil War 2 reference.
no, it's not Ang Lee's Hulk. It's not New Mutants. It is the third installment of the Tom Holland Spider-Man films.
Yes.
Almost like an hour prior to us recording. Like this is fresh news. If we were live, we'd be one of
Right before my pre-show nap.
Yeah, if we were live right now, we'd be one of the first nerd podcasts to be covering this.
But we're not, so we're going to be late
So
to
we're
it.
going to be late to it.
Hey.
See you next week. So we have a title No, we have two.
A title?
We have two titles for the
Oh
new
my
Spider-Man film, both with different.
Wait, we have two titles?
We do have two
Yeah,
titles.
you didn't hear about this?
They
no,
are.
I did not. I just heard about the
John,
one.
breaking news!
They are messing with us because they both. So Tom Holland
Yeah, they are.
shared the Spider-Man phone home with a picture of MJ,
That's the one I've heard.
Peter, and I can't think of his name. You guys know it. I can't.
Genki.
Ned.
Yeah, Ned.
It is Genki,
Okay.
but Ned.
It's Genki.
And then the actor who plays Ned tweeted a different one where it's called Spider-Man Homewrecker, and then it also is a different.
That's a little racy, don't you think?
It is a different still.
What if-
featuring those three?
What if that's not a fake title? Or if that is a fake title and it's just referencing MJ breaking up those two?
Ooh.
Like as a joke, that actor is just tweeting that out as a joke. Or what if they gave Tom Holland the wrong title on purpose, which would be hilarious
I think they're messing
because they
with
can't
us.
trust Tom Holland.
Because both posters, they're different colors. They both look.
Yeah, because I saw phone
You saw
home
Phone Home.
was like greenish.
Yeah.
Like a green treatment.
The
Like
Homewrecker,
Prowler.
I think, is what.
I don't think we're going there. I thought like because phone
We're
home,
not.
you think ET, you think aliens.
Mhm.
Aliens are typically depicted as tiny green men. I thought that was where they were going with
It's
the green.
not the big xenomorphs that we've come to know and love.
No, I'm not talking about Fox owned alien.
What's the other
properties.
one? The picture of the other color or the other title,
Homewrecker,
Matt?
I believe it's either in blue or purple. I have to look to be sure. But
God, if it's purple and green, whoa,
Bu-
whoa,
Joker confirmed.
I don't think.
Let's
it's
go.
Prowler.
that's my
Joker
Joker
confirmed.
Christ confirmed.
So it is
That's-
Spider-Man at the end
so
of
it's Spider-Man.
Justice League.
Yep.
We did it, guys.
You got it right.
We did it. We
You
brought
got
it.
it right.
We
John
brought
got
it.
it.
We brought it all the way around. Good stuff.
Let's go.
So we'll see.
So we haven't done this in the past, but we had a quick revision that we were able to catch. We recorded on Tuesday night, and at that point, we saw that not only had there were two titles revealed for the Spider-Man film, we did not see a third. That's just a factor of how close we were to recording versus when it was breaking news. The third was from Zendaya, and hers was Spider-Man Home Slice,
Home slice. I
which
gotta tell
is
you,
the cutest of the three for sure.
that
I
one's
think
my
Homewrecker
favorite.
is easily the worst.
Yeah.
I just I didn't like Homewrecker. And then today is Wednesday. This time is a flat circle, and Marvel Studios and presumably Sony revealed that the official title is Spider-Man No Way Home.
No Way Home. They released a fun little video with each of the three actors making a joke on Tom Holland being spoiler man like he is. It was fun. It was a fun time.
That's a good time. Yeah. So what do you think of the title Spider-Man No Way Home?
I dig it. It fits. I'm intrigued that they did three separate, but I could just be looking into that more than they want us to.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that said like, man, Tom, Zendaya, and Jacob just woke up today and chose violence. That's kind of how I felt about the whole
Yup.
thing.
Yep. They sure
Especially
did.
finding out, oh, we missed one. Oh, the title's out now, less than 24 hours later. So yeah, so Spider-Man No Way Home. I think it's good because I think it also kind of hints that like if this is this cast's exit from the MCU,
Mhm.
they have no way home.
Mhm.
It just kind of it does a lot of things. Does a lot of things well. It also kind of amps up the ante from each film, right? Because you have Homecoming, then for Far From Home, then you have No Way Home. So
Right.
I like the escalation. We'll see. We'll cover more details when they are available. But of course,
Yes. Yes. Obviously, we will probably have more Spider-Man news next week. Seems to be one of those movies along with the Snyder Cut where we just
Yeah, I
have
was gonna say
something.
along with Snyder Cut,
We just always have
just
something.
nonstop.
But this is a little break in the episode. We're going to get you right back to it as I jump into our new little fun segment.
Hey, so hope you enjoy the discussion. Back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, you said that's some exciting news, but you said we had something else to end the show, end the news segment.
This week in Geek, we're gonna do a fun new segment. The segment is called "I Heard a Rumor."
Ooh.
Yes,
Ooh. What are you going to make us do?
Give us the tea.
I'm going.
Give us the tea.
I'm gonna make you guys discuss some rumors that will pop up randomly in your Facebook feed as targeted ads and stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was born in August and have a motorcycle. I'm
Guess
a
I gotta
dad.
buy this turtle, this hoodie now.
Ah,
Turtle? Why did I
jeez.
say turtle?
Iron Workers Union 14, huh? I guess I gotta buy it.
No, like, why did I say turtle? I'm like needlessly distraught over this.
You're so weird, John.
Why are you getting advertised
why did I say
turtles? And also, yes, you should.
John's
buy
got a weird. John has a weird Google search
You
history.
should absolutely buy a turtle. They're adorable.
Yeah, but they smell
They
terrible.
smell.
Yeah.
So
Most
bad.
animals do.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
working from home,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna live with that 24/7. Like, it's not about that life.
But wait a second. You live in your home and the turtle lives in its shell home. Oh my God. Are you a turtle?
I would like to answer that question with a question. And that question is, am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Breaking. I heard a rumor.
Say what you want. I'll watch
I
that
heard
movie.
a rumor that John of Talking Trades is actually a turtle.
I'm very slow.
All I know is he
I am very
hasn't
slow.
denied it. And one time he tweeted out a cipher from the Turtle Killer.
I'm pretty sure in our D&D chat, he also tweeted a Ninja Turtles meme or posted a Ninja
I did.
Turtles
He did.
I did do that today.
Yo, is John a turtle?
Suspicious. We'll get into that next week.
Throwing the X-Files music right here.
So the rumor is from comicbook.com, a source that we generally use pretty frequently, that
Steal from is what you meant is we steal.
Steal
We
from.
steal all of our news from,
from
there.
there, and IGN is where I steal mine. We have a rumor for a casting decision for the Fantastic Four reboot. Unfortunately, is not the
Interesting. I'm
rumor
into it.
that everybody wants, featuring
Which is John Krasinski.
Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic, even though that would be
And
wonderful.
Emily Blunt is Sue Storm
Yeah.
because they're actually husband and wife in real life. That'd be amazing.
What's the rumor you heard, though,
Unfortunately,
Matt?
Sue Storm looks like Emily Blunt is not going to be the first of the rumor mill for Sue Storm. I heard a rumor that X-Men star and Oscar winner Jennifer Lawrence
No.
might be signing up to play
No.
Does like pizza.
Sue.
That's
She
true.
does like pizza. She's so relatable.
I refer you to a quote that I am going to 100% make up, but I know she said something along these lines. Paraphrasing? I'm going to refer you to some paraphrasing. Didn't she say she didn't want to be in superhero movies anymore?
Yeah.
Comic movies? She was above them or something like
If
that?
you watched the last
Oh my
two X-Men movies, it was painfully clear that she was phoning it in and she was done.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But then don't lie and then do another one.
Jeremy, I don't know if you ever had 5 dump trucks full of money back up in front of your house.
That's what I'm saying. Just
But-
don't say the comment. Just don't say it. What? Gwyneth Paltrow, same thing. Don't say it. You can hate it. You know who else hated it? Hugo Weaving.
And that was before the last 2 Avengers films. When the Paltrow was like, I'm just, and this medium, just like,
I'm better than
superhero
this.
movies.
Have you heard of Goop?
Ugh.
That's what my yelling no is not. I don't like. It's not. I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. Or I think she's a bad actress. She's not. She's very talented. But it's the hypocrisy for me. And it's, yes, like John said, have you ever had $5 million backed up to your house? No, but I wouldn't say the comment, don't burn a bridge and then try to walk back over it.
Yep. 100%.
I really hope that that's just a rumor and there's no actual basis to that. Because also, I don't want her to be Sue Storm. To be honest, I want my Fantastic Four to be not 4 white people.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know what a concept.
A lot of people are thinking that there's not much validity to these claims with her being rumored, as they haven't even started like pre-production and stuff for this Fantastic Four film.
Oh yeah, that movie is so far out.
Yeah, that's super far out.
Yeah, we got a while.
So we'll see.
Like, so much so we don't even have any semblance of a release year, just it's in pre-production. Like, that movie is not happening anytime soon.
Just for the sake of explaining pre-production can go forever because I've been watching Lord of the Rings again because they're amazing. Pre-production Lord of the Rings started 5 years before principal photography. So pre-production just means we're making the movie. When?
It's happening.
Pre-production means nothing.
Pre-production's like, it's been greenlit. Let's figure this out.
A lot of things go into pre-production and then never happen. Like pre-production means nothing. So yeah, they could have no casting.
Like a second Justice League movie, for example.
Hell, a first Justice League movie, it sounds like.
No, it happened. It was just a hot old mess.
Jesus, Joker, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Messiah Joker. Here to save us all.
John, I've been complaining. How do you feel about Jennifer Lawrence as the Invisible Woman if that was going to happen? Let's just say it was real.
I want someone else.
Right?
You know, it doesn't. I can't even say I don't want anyone from like the Fox movies as someone in Marvel, because like we did get Chris Evans as both Johnny Storm and Steve Rogers. But like, I don't know. Her heart's not in it. She clearly doesn't love it. Like, there are thousands of actors out there, I'm sure, who would kill to be Sue Storm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, also, I would say skew a little older. Make Sue and Reed like an older, more established married couple is what I would like to see personally.
And then make Ben and Johnny like younger.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, yeah. Ben
or at
can
least
be,
make Johnny
Ben
younger.
can be either or, but Johnny, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I also kind of want the Fantastic Four to represent, I don't know, America? America isn't all white.
You're right. And just on really my thoughts on Jennifer Lawrence is, like we saw her with the X-Men movies. If she ties herself to something like this, right, a franchise, she's got to be in it all the way
for the long haul.
Look at the difference between her First Class and her Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, her short bit on Dark Phoenix. She clearly was done.
Ignore Dark Phoenix and look at Apocalypse. It's worse in Apocalypse because it's the whole movie.
Yep.
It is. And then at the end of Apocalypse, she's like, okay, well, I'm the leader. I'm like, oh, that's a weird franchise decision. Okay, let's see how this is going to turn out. Oh my God. What a train wreck, you guys.
Yeah. But that's it for this new segment, which if
I
find any. Oh, you heard a rumor.
I heard a genuine rumor.
What's your rumor?
So my rumor is that, and I have no credible info. It's just a rumor I'd heard. And this is a podcast, so it's going to be fun. I heard there's a secret 10th episode of WandaVision that'll drop the same week as episode 9.
And the only way you can get to it is if you press up, down, left, right, and then you find the L is real
on Disney Plus. No,
it's just paid. There's no secret. That'd be too much fun. A secret code? No, you just got to give them money.
I think this rumor started because they said, the last 3 episodes are going to be like an hour, and this one was not.
No.
Episode 7, as of recording, is the most recent episode, and it was not an hour. So doing a secret 10th episode would still have your last 3 be an hour if they wanted to go that route.
Yeah.
So that's the rumor. Maybe it's not what we think it is. Maybe it's like an hour-long like news special into the Westview Anomaly. Maybe it's like a reunion special, like shows have done.
Maybe a frontline episode, like they did with the comic books,
like
or the news perspective.
Exactly, or like a fuller WandaVision. Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because like,
All right, Matt, now you can actually end the segment.
Yes, now that is our first.
You were interrupted.
Yes, our first attempt.
With a rumor, with a good rumor. Though.
Yeah, very interesting rumor. Our first attempt at I quote, I heard a rumor, and well, now it's time to talk about the king.
Michael Jackson again?
Here's your pull list.
This week on the pull list, we are reading Black Panther: Long Live the King, the Marvel anthology event. 6-issue. It's just a 6-issue run about Black Panther in the universe of Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther, written by Ndendi Okorafor and Aaron Covington. Our illustrators were Tana Ford, Mario Del Panino, and Andre Arujo. This was nominated for a Hugo, this book, for Best Graphic Story. I don't believe it won, but it was nominated, so that's pretty cool. Gentlemen, this book was very much not what I thought it was going to be.
No,
It
was
yeah, same.
it was different than I guess what I was expecting.
Then like
you know,
Nation Under Our Feet
Yeah,
at all.
Yes.
so
It felt very much like an old school comic book for younger audiences, where it was like the plot wasn't super complex, and there was a lot of like the dialogue was like, "Oh, I'm doing this thing! My goodness!" Like a lot of exclamations. Nothing wrong with that. Just pointing it out. It was a very different feel from the Ta-Nehisi Coates book, but it lived in that same universe. That was kind of cool. I love that universe. I think Ta-Nehisi Coates did a great job with the creating of the Black Panther universe that he did, the Nation Under Our Feet stuff. I enjoyed this short little book. It was fun. It was 3 issues of a main story and then a couple issues of side stuff. It was fun. It was a good time.
Mhm.
What'd you guys think?
I agree. It was a good time. I expected, I guess, just one thing instead of a few different things. And it's
Sure.
like, I guess I'd expect a few different things if it was positioned as like a collection of, but it
Mhm.
wasn't. It just, we did a couple issues. Okay, then we're doing this couple issues and we wrap it up. Then here's a completely bonus side story, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the opposite side. I wanted
You
to
didn't like it?
And now knowing that it was also nominated for an award makes me feel like clearly there's something wrong with
You don't
my
have to
brain.
like something just because it was
Um,
nominated for an award.
Like it wasn't something that I expected, but I don't mind short stories. Like Stephen King is my favorite author. He has many very good short story anthologies. I don't know. There's just something with it that didn't sit right to me. I don't know if it was the pacing. I don't know if it was let's do two issues covering this topic, then jump to a completely different one, then do another issue covering the original.
For me, that's it. It's a weird package.
Yeah, so and then doing the 2 that start and then the 2 random ones that have nothing to do with the original, then going back to the original story and then going to a story that isn't, that's just kind of, I wasn't expecting. I didn't realize that there was an interim Black Panther who was a symbiote affected person.
It's not interim. It was a different universe.
Oh, well, a different, well,
In that universe, yes, she was interim.
yeah,
Black.
in that universe, yeah, she said she was filling as interim Black Panther, and I don't know. There were a lot of things that I think I would have liked to known going in. Like each of
That's fair.
the story synopses were all interesting. They were all something that I would have liked a little bit more on, but yeah, just for whatever reason, it just did not sit right with me.
So to that point, I think I'm looking through this just to see what this was, and it looks like it was intended to be not an anthology series necessarily, but kind of like a digital, maybe not digital even, just kind of like a fun little romp in that universe.
Mhm.
And I think that, especially with it being, we're reading this volume. When we read a volume, we're expecting one cohesive story the whole way through for the most part, unless otherwise said. But I think this was meant to be more individual stuff, just released around the time of the movie
Yeah,
as like a fun side thing, which it was. But I can absolutely see where you're coming from, Matt. As far as that is as a volume, the individual stories when collected are fun, but as a volume, it's not the most cohesive thing. And I get that. John, what do you think?
The same for me. Like I liked everything, but it's just a weird package. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're gonna do different things, why would you not do all of one, then all of the next, then the last?
Yeah.
Like, why would you cut it up
Mhm.
like that? Because DC Rebirth, when they launched Wonder Woman, they did like for the first, I think 10-ish issues, 10 or 12, they did like odds are this story, evens are a different story. But when they sold
Yes.
them in trades, you got the complete stories. You got like this contains 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and this contains 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, for example. So it's just it's a weird package, but I did like the content.
It is. And since it's in paperback, you think you could just put 1, 2, 5
Mhm.
next to each other.
I mean,
Just do
they've
that.
done it in the past.
Because it's not like the M'Baku story informs the main plot. It's not like, oh, this backstory, this quick flashback will explain why T'Challa makes this decision. No, not really.
Yeah.
Not that it has to, but like, why was it printed in that way? And I agree with that.
That was what I was kind of hoping. Like when I saw that there was different art style and it's a flashback. Okay, this will give me more into that story, and it didn't. It was still a fun story. I didn't realize M'Baku was a full-on bad guy because the only bit of him
He's
I've
a
seen
real bad guy.
is the MCU M'Baku, who is
I much prefer the MCU one.
very much. He's a leader, and then eventually he becomes friends with T'Challa. So it was different. It was partly I didn't know what I expected. It was partly I didn't like how it was cut up. But that's just me.
I can agree with all of that. I think that pulling myself out of the publishing issue, because I agree with you guys. It's not. I don't like the way it was published. Pulling myself away from that, just the story itself is an interesting little story, just like a slice of life episode where the vibranium's acting up and he's got to go solve the problem. And then the little M'Baku stories, it's a neat little flashback where he meets a friend who he hadn't talked to in a while. And then the last one is a cool little thing where it's in a different universe. But I think that just looking at that isn't possible when it's printed the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, and none of us said this, that it's not a bad book, and no point is it a bad book. It's just not the way that we would have preferred it to be published or to be collected. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
Okay. Well, let's just jump right into the 3 very brief stories here. I think we'll do them in order of 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
I prefer
Which sounds confusing, but it's not, we promise. So the stories of 1, 2, and 5 are T'Challa's hanging out, reading a memoir from a very famous Nigerian poet, who I'm sure that everyone on this podcast already knows. Say it with me, guys. Hold on, I have it here. I saved it. I saved it. His name
I'm not
is...
familiar. I couldn't name many poets, period.
Right.
So then when you get
His name
more
is,
specific, like I'm out. I just can't.
Wole Soyinka, and the book is called "You Must Set Forth at Dawn," and it's a memoir, a poetry, like a free verse memoir of this guy's life and his time and his friends and family living in the tough and lyrical languages that he wrote plays and novels in. The indomitable spirit of Nigeria itself is what it says on Goodreads. That's kind of cool, and it's like a real book by a real Black author, which is kind of cool. It's like, that's a neat little nod, and it showed me a new author, new book that I could check out one day. Very cool. He's reading that, and then a monster attacks Wakanda, and that monster's like, "Hey, vibranium, gone," which is like bad because vibranium is the cornerstone of their entire existence. If the vibranium isn't working, the city isn't working. They go into the longest blackout in Wakandan history at Bernanzana, which is real bad because if you live in a society with as much technology as the Wakandans do, you can't do anything.
Like everything doesn't work.
Yeah.
Everything.
The little slices or snippets we get of the life are like an ATM isn't working. People at the hospital can't perform their surgeries. The cars won't start. Like nothing's working. The Black Panther suit isn't doing the Black Panther suit stuff. It's bad. It's real bad. So with this in mind, obviously T'Challa's like, someone else is going to have to solve it. Psych, he's going to do it because he's the Black Panther. He's great. So he's going to attempt to fix this by bringing a couple of his closest guard out and his sister, at this point it's after Shuri had gone into like the ancestor temple dimension thing where she had like the long white dreadlocks and she was had the Hatut Zerazi. Which group is she with? It's not the Dora Milaje. It's the other group, like the ancestral group.
I think that's
it's at that point
because I think
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, they.
It is the Dora Milaje.
No, the other one.
No.
Oh, the Hatut Zerazi.
The one that was because that name was mentioned in the book a few times.
Cool. God, I'm smart. This is when she is like the new Shuri. She's not the younger version of herself. I like this version a lot. I think this version's very cool. She's like, okay, go ahead. You be careful though. Be safe. And he's like, yeah, we'll do. I'm gonna go check this out. And he goes and he flies out to a mute zone. And I really like this concept of a mute zone. So mute zone is an area in Wakanda where they have completely shut off themselves from technology. They built a firewall around them where none of the technology in Wakanda would work. And they don't have a king. They don't have anybody. They have an elected chief and they just kind of live. They live their life freely. And I was like, man, that's insane, but makes perfect sense. In every society, no matter how technologically advanced and powerful, there's always going to be a hierarchy and there's going to be people who feel oppressed and who want to break off from that. Even in Wakanda. That's really cool. It's a really cool concept. So he goes there, checks it out. He's like, hey, I saw this monster. No one else believes me that I saw this monster. They're like, no, we saw it. Like, oh, okay, cool. So like, what's going on? And he bumps into some kids and the kids kind of talk with him. And he's like, oh yeah, you kids and your rock and roll. They end up like stealing stuff from his guards. And they're like, oh man, meddling kids. Then he goes off into the woods to try to to follow some noise that he hears. And the noise sounds very familiar to the earthquake noise that preceded the monster in Wakanda's main city, in Bernanzana. So he goes into the woods and he's attacked by it's a Black Panther. And the Black Panther destroys him, messes him up real bad because his suit isn't working. He's just a guy now. Still an incredibly strong and incredibly talented guy, but a guy. And I think most people lose a fight to a legitimate Black Panther, like an actual animal Black Panther. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm thinking most people lose that fight.
Just don't mess with those big cats in general.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
He defeats the panther, killing it. And this weird purple stuff comes out of it. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then the chief comes out of nowhere and is like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I know you. We used to be friends. And she's like, we did. We were in college together. And you were kind of a jerk. He's like, no, I wasn't. I've always been cool. She's like, you're a little high and mighty, buddy. You're a little. You thought that you were better than me. And he's like, oh, maybe, but like, I don't know. I'm perfectly recreating the dialogue, just so anybody is wondering. I'm perfectly recreating the dialogue.
Thank
you.
From the page to your ears right now.
Which I know we said we wouldn't do anymore, but I gotta tell you, I think it sounds better. Her name is Ikoko. And Ikoko is the chief of this mute zone. It's the town with no name because why give it a name? Because then you have to like have a hierarchy, and we don't want that.
Like
and she's like, hey, you killed a Black Panther. What's that, John?
I was say they need like a charter, and like who has the time?
You're right.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So he's like, so what's going on here? And she's like, well, a long time ago, there was that professor in college who talked about how he discovered something that was like magic, and everyone laughed at him, including you, T'Challa. He's like, well, and she's like, no, you laughed at him and it was rude because he was right. A long time ago, what we now call science was considered magic. And so the thing that he discovered, he called magic, but it's only because we didn't know what it was yet. And what he had found was a way to turn vibranium into sentient vibranium, which anytime anybody says blank with the word sentient in front of it, I dislike that idea. That's a bad idea. Don't give things sentience, because then you know what happens? They realize that humanity is the worst thing ever, and we get murdered.
I've seen
I've seen the Terminators.
I know how this goes.
Boom. There you go. We don't need to Cylon this.
Read Vision.
Exactly.
See?
Humanity's bad, so don't give things sentience, because then they realize that we're bad.
Like maybe just stop working on advancing AI. Maybe we just call it a day where we are.
I
Done.
agree.
Siri,
I agree.
Siri already knows a little too much. You know what I mean? Like just call it a day.
Yeah. Siri, Alexa, don't be careful. They might hear. But Siri and Alexa, they're coming for you.
And Cortana. Just kidding.
Especially Cortana. So during this discussion, he's like, yeah, all right, I remember that professor. Yes, I did say that. He's like, well, he bailed on the world of Wakanda. Your father asked him to make this sentient vibranium, and he took off to do this. But because he was laughed at, he's not going to live in a place where people are laughing at him. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, goodbye. Well, he came here to this place, this mute zone, and he's working here. And I followed him because I respected this man, and I legitimately believed in what he was thinking. So I followed him. Haven't been able to find him. He's been missing. He went into the mountains and no one's been able to find him. We've been all over that mountain. He's just gone. And Child's like, huh, interesting. He goes to the town with no name. The earthquake starts again. And as the earthquake is happening, the vibrations from the earthquake cause a cave to open up in the mountain. And Child's like, there's my out. I'm going to go there. But before he can do that, as this earthquake's happening, his suit starts to work again. And he's able to get like these new-ish powers that are very temporary, but he can kind of control the vibration of the air around him. And he used that to save a few people. Very cool. Very awesome. And as this is happening, his suit also begins to repair itself, because that's what his suit does when the vibranium is working. Seeing this, he gets the confidence to run into the cave, and he finds the professor's body. The professor was here in this mountain, and apparently the vibranium that he was working with caused the mountain to kind of open up a cave. He went into the cave. It caused the cave to collapse. He died inside the cave, unfortunately, alone, which is just the scariest thing I can think of. To just like be trapped and die. Yep. No thanks. I'm out. Yep. I'm out. Next to like Joker Christ, that's the second scariest thing I can think of. So T'Challa destroys the sentient vibranium, realizing it's a bad idea. That's why he's my favorite. He's the smartest guy in the Marvel Universe.
Well,
destroying sentient things. That's all I'm saying. Tony Stark, not that smart. He made sentient AI. He caused Ultron. Did Black Panther make Ultron? No. Checkmate, atheists.
In the comics, Tony Stark didn't make Ultron.
Right, Hank Pym did, and we're not going to talk about Hank Pym. He's a bad guy. Anyway, this saves the town with no name. Saves all those people, and he leaves the cave. He's like, hey, listen, Ikoko, you're right. Seeing that this man came all the way out here and died alone, I realized that, the exclusion was wrong, and that I understand people want to live on their own. And she's like, so you're not going to do anything about the mute zone? He's like, no, you're good. Everyone's cool here. I'm not sanctioning it because you don't need to be sanctioned. You don't need my approval. But if you need help, let me know. I'm just a phone call away. So T'Challa gets to grow a little bit, which is always cool. Love to see my favorite characters grow, even though he's already a very well-developed character. I just like to see him do that. So that's cool. So he goes back and it's all good. That's the end of that little short story. That's 1, 2, and 5. It's a fun little short story.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Would one of you two like to talk about the M'Baku story?
I'll take the reins on that if that's okay.
Go ahead, Maddie.
Okay.
Sure.
So the
Maddie M'Baku, what a weird coincidence.
So issue 3 opens up and you see, like, in the before times, then
the long ago.
And you see a young T'Challa and his friend whose name is, it starts with a K. I want to say Cantu.
Kentu?
Think so.
I think you said it right.
I think I said it right too. All right, go to
Cantu. Yes, Cantu. Kantu.
Yep.
Look at you, Matt.
Look at me knowing things. And they're, watching their friends. They're friends are playing soccer and they're talking, and Cantu's like, see, you have to be you're so careful. You have to plan everything carefully because you're going to be king, blah, blah, blah.
Ooh,
this,
I'm
that,
the
and
king.
And, they're just messing around being friends. And then it flashes forward and it shows all the different times where T'Challa has had to be careful, right? He saves people. He's going through a burning fire and he's taking out people of the White Gorilla Gang. I think that
White
was
Gorilla
what they were
Cult.
called. The White Gorilla Cult. And he's got some beef. He's like, what? Where are these people coming from?
That's right. I forgot Black Panther
M'Baku
talks like Batman.
M'Baku is dead. Who are you working for? But they check
Again,
it out
right from the page to your ears.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Who do you work for?
And T'Challa tells his buds, like, hey, make sure the people are okay. I'm gonna look into this. And Shuri's gonna be his eyes essentially, and be basically play the part of like Alfred to Batman, which is just, here's what's going on. And I didn't realize this was Shuri at first. I did not realize that Shuri was shredded.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just like stoic.
She's great. It's after she comes back from the ancestral plane. She's just such a good character.
And so he gets into his Panther jet, and he flies, and he's flying over this area.
Excuse me, it's the Panther plane?
Oh, excuse me, the Panther plane. You're right. Jet belongs to Wonder Woman.
Also, it's not alliterative.
And they notice some foliage, and they're like, these aren't plants that are native to Wakanda, because they know everything about their country. And T'Challa's like, well, I'm gonna check it out. And he jumps down onto a tree, and the tree sprouts these little metal tentacles, and he's like, uh-oh. And he jumps down. He tries to slow his descent from the tree using his claws. Here's the thing, though. Tree's made out of vibranium.
Oh, my God.
Somebody is building things out of vibranium. And he falls, and he sees these two little cute critters. And he's like, oh, they must be friends. And then they immediately start hitting him with sound waves and just mess with
Oh,
him.
no, these aren't friends.
They're robots.
They aren't friends. They're robots. And they run off because you hear thuds, and once you know it, there's more robots in the form of elephants.
Animal robots?
Nature's most adorable creature. I love elephants so much.
The other creatures are like undescribable. Like there's not like chipmunks, or they're varmints. They're just varmints.
Yeah, there's some small like I guess
I don't know what a
varmints,
muskrat is, but like that's what I think a muskrat is.
It's a muskrat. No, he's a meerkat.
Yeah,
I don't know what muskrat is either.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
I think it's a muskrat. I have no basis for this.
They have the same feet like meerkats, so I think that they're just kind of random, small, adorable animals. But yeah,
but they're not, because they're sound waves.
Yeah, Terminator Elephant shows up, which is, by the way, the name of my new band.
Terminator Elephant, like our first single, Varmint. No, our first single, Not Friends, Robots.
You're right. Off the album Joker Jesus.
Oh, God. It's alliterative.
Black Panther jumps up on top of him. He's like, okay, clearly you're not a real elephant, because he sees the eyes, and the eyes look like eyes from the Terminator. Like they have the red and stuff. And, he rips off the top of the head. He's like, okay, it's made out of metal. And he's breaking it all apart. And then a little like dude, like you'd see in like Star Wars, a little hologram comes up, and he's like, you should have thought out your attack more carefully. Elephant whips up his nose, wraps him around. His nose comes off
his trunk
of his face. His trunk, excuse me.
He is packed and ready to go.
Like a packed germ.
And John is off the podcast.
And a giant bird then picks up the wrapped up T'Challa and
takes him to Mordor to drop the ring in.
Is this a crossover episode?
It might be. Listen, man, we're talking about Spider-Man being in Justice League. Anything can happen. Right
And
now.
apparently Christian Bale's playing Black Panther.
And we're not getting out of the pool list without talking about some Venom.
You're
Oh
right.
God, you're right.
But he goes to this hideout, and he sees this gentleman, and this gentleman who's been controlling this stuff ends up being Cantu, who unfortunately he lost his father, and he had to kind of live and take care of himself.
As
and
with
that's how he
everybody in Black Panther's life, he has to understand that other people have a hard life, and then those people try to kill him. It's unfortunate.
And so he finds out that, he had a small reserve of vibranium, and he started making little robots and stuff out of vibranium. Obviously, business worked well for him, as he has his own fortress and animal army all made of vibranium. And he's like, I'm going to sell you to the white gorilla cult. And
It's going to be great.
T'Challa's like, or you can help me take down the white gorilla cult, and I can help you get some semblance of your life back.
This was the only
Old
problem I
pal.
had with this book.
Right.
It's so easily like, yes, okay.
Yeah, and he was like, that sounds good. Let's do that instead.
That was really easy to convince you. Sweet.
Right. I thought for sure, like, oh, he's going to backstab him. He's obviously, right? And
That's what I thought too.
There's not enough time for that.
There isn't enough time.
There's only 2 issues.
Like, that's the only reason why I think there's not enough time for that.
And then he's like, okay, well, let's show you who's going to be helping us take down the white gorilla cult, because 2 of us can't do it for sure. And it's just a hall full of different animals made out of vibranium. We got a hippo, we got a zebra, we got a
no. You already said the important one. We got a hippo.
We got a lion.
Do you imagine how cute that death machine would be? Oh my God, let's go.
We got a death log. We got everything.
Now, for those who are uninitiated, what's a death log, man?
Crocodile or alligator.
Those are the scariest animals in the animal kingdom.
I've never.
You know
heard
why?
death
They
log
haven't
before.
evolved.
They have, they are the perfect killer.
They have not evolved in millions of years because, hey, you nailed it. They're so, you never heard death log, John? That's
No.
some scary stuff. I'm going to, real quick aside, which we never do on this podcast.
Never.
No.
I have been in multiple toy aisles lately because, how you doing, child? And there's this toy that I continue to see, and it's like a RC boat, but it's not a boat. It's just a gator head,
Ooh, no,
and it's
thank
meant
you.
to prank people. It's meant to prank people, so you whip this thing around because
thank
all you
you.
ever see is the. I'm like, that's it. Who made this? What sadistic creature was like, this is gonna be funny? It's not funny. It's
Gotta be the
horrifying.
same people who are like, it'd be fun. Shark goggles.
Right.
Coming this summer,
Oh.
prank videos all over Instagram and YouTube featuring that.
I
Oh,
hate it.
absolutely. I would hate every second of it. I would be like, nope, we're not friends anymore. Thanks.
It's like I could be controlling it and I'm scared of it. Anyway,
Yeah. So
back to the short book.
back to the short book. So they end up getting all that stuff together to head out. Meanwhile, you find that that M'Baku has been raised, and he's going to be given power from Baron Macabre, who straight up looks like someone off of a Ghost cover, as his
Yeah, he
face
does.
is just
Yeah.
a skull, and he's just standing
He's
there,
great.
and there's a bunch of open caskets and stuff.
And he's just like a wizard. He's like
What
he's
I
just a
thought-
death wizard.
What I thought was amusing was it's like Baron Macabre, a necromancer who deals only in death. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I thought this was going to be. Okay, cool.
Yep, that's him. That's what he does.
Neat.
What a well-rounded character.
He's a sorcerer who
He's got one dimension, but like it's a really good dimension.
It's a
Mhm.
great dimension.
And
So they get all the animals, Matt, and they go after Baron
they
Macabre.
they go after Baron Macabre and M'Baku, and T'Challa radios in like, "Hey, sorry, I was my comms were cut there. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I actually ran into an old friend, but you don't know that yet."
Now, who is
Man,
this
it's-
talking? Because I'm not sure who that is.
Is that a new character?
Who is this? The new, brand new character that just showed up.
yeah, that's actually he's in his T'Challa voice right now instead of his Black Panther voice. Yeah, obviously, guys. And they're like, "Oh, well, we should come help him." And then T'Challa's like, "No, I got this." And,
There he is.
and so Shuri's like, "Well, I'm gonna at least go help." So she hops into a panther plane and goes to help her brother. Meanwhile, as they're storming the site
The castle.
where
Oh no,
it's not really a castle, it's
The
a
like
giant,
altar.
it's a giant
thing.
spirit bubble, and they're storming it on a giant bird.
oh, I'm sorry, a spirit bubble
Yeah, it
You know,
looks like
those commonplace things.
Yeah,
that
obviously.
yeah, of course.
That's that's generally where spirits hang out. I mean, as far as I know, I've only played Mortal Kombat as Ermac once, but I feel like I got a good grip on it. Anyways, so they come and they crash the party, of course, after M'Baku gets all of his cool death powers. And instead of them going in headfirst, guns blazing, Cantu sends his vibranium animals to attack. And Baron Macabre thinks of it as an omen and says, "M'Baku, you are not fit to rule. This is an omen. The spirits are against you." And M'Baku's like, "Well, spirits or not, I'm going to rule." And he takes Baron Macabre and drops him off a cliff, which is fun that he did that. That's so nice. But the animals keep attacking. Eventually, T'Challa makes himself known, and he fights with M'Baku, while Cantu takes care of the goons, the cultists. And then eventually the cultists are for the most part on the run, and Cantu basically goes form Voltron with his vibranium animals, and just has like this super suit with a lion's head and a rhino chest and one lion paw with claws and then lion legs and then a big old gun.
I did like that this
It's
went
great.
full on Beast Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. And T'Challa's like, "No, help attack them."
It's gonna last for a long time, right? This is definitely gonna be a thing.
Yeah, except Shuri happens and's like, "Oh God,
Oh.
there's a giant mech that's about to attack my brother. I should probably stop him." She shoots him.
Because the comms are down for so long, she doesn't know who this guy is and if he's a good or bad guy.
He's a good guy. Spoiler alert: he doesn't turn on T'Challa. But they're basically able to then work together with everybody and take down M'Baku. Baron Macabre then takes away all of his death powers that he gave him, and he is taken down, subdued, and that is how the story
And Baron Macabre's just like, "And I'm out."
And he's like, "Okay, peace," and just walks through a portal.
They're
And
like, "Hey, we should
leaves.
take you to okay, bye, you're gone."
Yeah, no, see you later.
Death Wizard.
Yeah.
And that's it for that story. That's it.
That's it. Just short, straight to the point. No fun turns or anything like that. Just kind of right there.
Weird. John, what's the last story that happens?
The last and shortest story begins in a different universe, and there is no warning.
At all.
Just happens.
When
So-
I saw the cover, I was like, "Ooh, that's different. That looks vicious. I look forward to watching T'Challa fight that."
That's suspicious.
When I saw the cover, I was
That's
like,
weird.
"Oh, was this like the Venomized covers? They chose
Right.
to use that."
That's what I thought.
No.
No.
Okay.
that's-
So in this universe, I don't know what happened with the former Black Panther, but we have an interim Black Panther by the name of Ngozi. And
And I looked this up. I looked up her backstory real fast. She was a college track star who was paralyzed, and then the symbiote linked with her. There you go.
man, that's like Persona 5 without the symbiote. Anyway,
Ooh.
hey man, I don't know how to apologize for Persona 5. So so it begins with we see her in her full-on venomness, which is like some kind of like weird dragonfly
Demon bug lady.
thing. Just because of the 4 wings, I'm thinking dragonfly. But yeah,
Right.
It's horrible.
it's
It's real scary.
bug lady. And we learned that she's coming home because there's a wedding. And they're like, ooh, fancy Wakanda lady comes home and you're all different. She's like, well, I'm not like staying. Like I'm here for the wedding. And meanwhile, Venom is like, I think I like Lagos. Let's find out. Let's go out there and have some fun. She's like, no, Venom.
Tater tots.
We're just hanging out for the wedding. Chocolate.
God.
And he's like, I would, if I knew better, I'd say they're cooking for the entire country. She goes, I mean, yeah. Like, it's a wedding. So, I mean, yeah. And
That's
then,
what you do.
And then the girls have some girl time. And they're like, ooh, what about this guy? Any Wakandan love interests? She goes, nah, I'm too busy. They're like, she's still in love with Olu. What? What do you mean, Olu?
And if you're confused about these people, so were we.
You should be, because theirs were never addressed ever. And just suddenly you're thrown in here at the end of this trade. Similar to the Static Shock trade. It's like, hey, here's this one issue.
Mm-hmm.
So then Olu comes out
but
of
at least all the
hallway.
characters were consistent in the Static Shock issue.
Yeah. One thing I don't think I mentioned, Ngozi is in a wheelchair. So it's similar to Agent Venom, where the appendages that don't function, or in Agent Venom's case aren't there, the symbiote makes up for them, like creates them for them to function and run, etc. So he runs away, and then she tracks him down by going lightning fast in his wheelchair. Like, credit where credit's due. And he has people like bound in plants. This is not really defined.
It's not.
He just can do plant things. Sure. So turns out this was like, he's like, yeah,
alternate universe.
yeah. The long and short of it is, it was all a ruse to steal the food for the wedding.
Because they needed food for homeless people.
But yes.
This was a book in this.
And then it ends by their, okay, no, there's more. In doing this, she goes, oh, that's insane. Like, you think you can just do this? And then she turns from the dragonfly lady into some just monstrous beast, into some dragon-ish beast.
Yep.
And she goes like, she loses all but like one shred of control. And then she is able to regain her consciousness, not her faculties. And it's like, no, that wasn't okay. Like, I almost lost control. The Dorbalage, or if they have a different name, the Dorbalage equivalency arrive. And they go, yeah, it's fine because we stopped you. Like, it's fine. Anyway, they send in wedding food from Wakanda, and everyone's happy at the end.
Yep.
Yay!
Like, I'm not kidding. That's how that wraps up. It wraps up with a line dialogue like, yeah, so they just replaced all the food and everyone's happy.
Yep. And then you also see how mutants are treated there because that attack, that robbery.
Surprising no one, mutants are treated poorly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In other news, water is wet.
Thank you, Perry.
Oh, this just in. Hold on. Yes, we are confirming the sky is blue.
But like, what about when it's overcast?
Ah, yes, still blue.
Behind
the
clouds.
Oh.
Matt's getting it. We're very proud of you, Matt.
Yeah, I'm catching up.
So that's the book, man. It's a fun book, but like, just put together very strangely.
In going through it, I didn't enjoy the Venom. That was too much. Too different. The two different T'Challa stories are fine. The Venom was just, it was too much to do in one issue, and there was no, like, in another world, this is Black Panther, or another world, another Black Panther has their struggle. Like, there's no forward, no warning. It just happens.
Mm.
Yep, it was weird.
Yeah, like when I'm going into,
I give it a 6. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, when I go into like a Black Panther book, especially one titled "Long Live the King," I imagine it involves T'Challa the entire time. Not saying
or
that,
at the very least, the hierarchy of the crown.
Yeah, not
that
saying that,
and that last one in no it
doesn't involve it at all.
In no way bothers someone wanting the throne. It just, I'm here for a wedding.
What were you saying though, Matt?
Yeah, it's just the character itself was interesting. And, when I think of Black Panther, I don't generally think of a dragonfly symbiote creature. But
Why?
I wasn't expecting seeing
one and the same.
Seeing that in in a Black Panther book and have that be the Black Panther.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ooh,
I agree with John's there, where it's just like there's no lead up, there's no like check out this run for more, like Marvel books or comic books in general usually do. It was just kind of like, oh, there's that. And like we said earlier, just the splitting up of it, of putting 3 and 4, a completely different story before the first story was wrapped up, kind of brought it down for me. I'd put it maybe 5.5 to 6.
Because the other thing too, we didn't really touch on, issue 2 ends where like he meets the chief, and it's like, ooh, or the spirit that wants you dead, and you're like, oh, what's this? And then you go to the M'Baku stuff. Then you go back to the chieftain. It was very jarring.
Yeah. It was. I didn't like how it was put together. But yeah,
it was weird.
Like I said, 5.5, 6.
Not every book we read is a banger.
Yeah.
That being said, it's still not as bad as Civil War 2 and or Convergence.
Hey.
John, what do you give it out of 10?
I'm going to go 6.5.
Okay.
It was put together was weird. Like the Venom was just, it needed another issue to do it any of what they were doing, any real justice.
Right.
I agree. All right. Well, for everybody else, hopefully this episode wasn't nearly as disjointed as this book, but let's find out exactly how disjointed it was when we wrap it all up in the outro. Is the podcast this week. Gentlemen, not our favorite book of all time, but also not the worst thing we've ever read, because we still know what those 2 books are. But I look forward to reading next week's book, because we are doing a double feature of Dark Side Justice League stuff leading up to the Snyder Cut.
Lord help us.
That's right, folks. God. Next week, we are going to read the Justice League New 52 Volume 1 Justice League Origin, which is written by Jeff Johns and drawn by Jim Lee. It is the beginning of the New 52 Justice League where they fight Darkseid. So it's only 6 issues. It's gonna be fun. Get ready. There's also an animated movie based on this volume, which is also very fun. So get ready. It'll be a good time. Looking forward to reading on this podcast. But you guys haven't read that previously, yes?
No.
I know, Matt. You've seen bits of the movie.
Have I?
You said you've seen the scene where Green Lantern and Batman meet?
Yes, I saw that because that made me laugh.
This is a good book. It's fun. It's nothing spectacular. It's kind of a by the numbers, the bad guy shows up, the team comes together book, but it's fun. I like it.
Nice.
I think if you go into it with like, hey, this is fun, expectations, you'll enjoy the book. Especially because they've made, the New 52's gone, so like this origin doesn't matter anymore. It's just a good time. Just, it's a little goofy time.
Question. How much of Messiah Joker is in there?
Oh, so it's only 6 issues. So he's in issue, he's not in there.
That's it. I can't read this book.
Yeah. Well, you know what you can do instead of reading the book? You can watch the movie Joker Christ Superstar. Roll that trailer!
In a society where a man is contractually obligated to play a role that makes no sense.
Like, I'm not alone here, right? Like, why is he Jesus? Do we need the crown of thorns?
Listen. Like, you look great, okay? You look great.
Obviously, that's not the point.
One man will put on a crown of thorns and some lipstick.
Like, what's going on with the tattoos, right? Suicide Squad, tons of tattoos. This movie, nothing. Does this predate Suicide Squad? Like, what's going on here?
Look, listen, tattoo removal is the edgiest thing you could do. It hurts twice.
Is it? Remember that time I knocked my girlfriend into a vat?
From the edgelord that brought you Sucker Punch, Justice League Grey, and Justice League.
So, like, what's going on with this, the purple Lamborghini? Anyone know where that is in the apocalypse?
The Lamborghini couldn't driving an apocalypse. You kidding me?
Jared Leto is Joker Christ Superstar.
I'm not singing. I'm not singing without the band.
Okay, he's not singing. He's gonna be singing.
What?
It doesn't sound good, but that's okay. It's not good. It's HBO Max. Streaming never.
Don't forget that that's the podcast this week. We're paying you.
Do I really have to say it?
We're paying.
If I got to be here, you got to say it.
That is the podcast this week.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the good stuff, baby.
You can follow us on Twitter at Talkin' Trades. You can follow Jeremy on Twitter at LizardKing27. You can find John on Twitter at Maesterlaka, Maesterlaka. And for this and other projects from Matt, please check out Facebook at Matt Spina Music. And remember, we're not experts, we're fans.